0-4 over his last 7 starts since the All-Star break, an ERA at 8.82, but he is coming off that very good start against the Kansas City Royals. He made the adjustment after the first 3 innings, and that's what pitching coach Rick Anderson is looking for him to do here tonight. Now, this is his 2nd career start against the Orioles, his 1st here at the Metrodome.
Northland Ford defense for the Twins. Young, Span, and Kadire in the outfield with Carlos Gomez on the bench. Punto at third, Cabrera, Casilla up the middle, Morneau at first, and Joe Mauer behind the plate. Brendan Harris with a couple of starts at third. Punto getting their start at third base tonight. Doesn't look like Joe Creedy's going to be there for a while. The Twins will consult with some doctors to try to find the best course of action regarding Joe Creedy.
Well, I was hoping that Brendan Harris would be in the lineup tonight because tonight is his 29th birthday.
Well, happy birthday.
Yep. Brendan Harris celebrating birthday number 29, he told me, right there on the pine.
Well, Punto and Blackburn with a brief chat. The Twins, who lost 2 games in Baltimore a long time ago this year, have won the first 2 games here, and they need a win tonight to win the season series, 3-2.
Well, if you haven't seen Blackburn pitch before, he is a contact-type pitcher. What I mean by that, he doesn't walk a lot of guys. He doesn't strike out a lot of guys, averaging less than 2 walks per 9 innings and about 4 strikeouts per 9 innings. So he's a guy that makes the opponent put the ball in play by making good quality pitches. Let's hope.
Fouled away, strike 1. What we saw from Blackburn in the Kansas City game when he kind of rediscovered himself, if you will. He got into a nice groove. He mixed more first pitch breaking pitches into his repertoire just to maybe keep the pitchers off balance, or the hitters off balance a little bit.
Well, you know what, Dick? You look at that last start. He threw 106 pitches. His 2 previous starts combined, he threw 99 pitches.
Yeah.
So sometimes you get into that mode where you just need to pitch. And Blackburn, one of those guys, the more he throws, the better the sinker is. Carlos Gomez having some fun with manager Ron Gardenhire.
And Blackburn would have gotten his win if not for the Brian Pena home run against Joe Nathan with the Royals down to their last strike.
Yeah, that doesn't happen too often.
Breaking ball, and it's rolled to first. Morneau stays with the 4-hopper. Blackburn covers 1 away.
We almost saw it on that at bat right there to Roberts. An established hitter, very good hitter. Blackburn almost showed all his pitches right there. Ended up getting him out on the breaking ball. So a good first appearance to a hitter for Nick Blackburn. Got the ground ball out.
Here's Cesar Izturis, the Baltimore shortstop. And there's a breaking ball, but it misses. 1-0.
Again, everything keys off the fastball, but when they are sitting on that fastball, maybe that first pitch, you can go outside that strike zone a little bit with a fastball. There's a fastball right there, down in the strike zone. I never, they always said, well, this guy's a first ball fastball hitter. It doesn't mean that you can't throw him a fastball. Throw it off the plate a little bit. If he's looking fastball, make him hit it off the end of the bat, or throw it inside, make him jam himself. But just don't throw it down the middle. Those are first ball fastball hitters.
Here's a 1-1 fastball line to left and a base hit for Izturis. Last night, Armando Gabino made his major league debut. He was the 22nd pitcher used by the Twins this year. That's our Chrysler key stat. The club record is 23, set in 1989. That was not a good year for the Twins. The last time the Twins used 22 pitchers, it was 1995, and that wasn't a very good year for the Twins. Here's Luke Scott. This could still be a good year for the Twins, yes, because no one from the nobody else in the division is capable, it seems, of pulling away.
Well, Chicago's probably used the same amount of pitchers as the Tigers have. So, I mean, I think every club is using a lot of pitchers because of so many injuries and so many guys going up and down.
Luke Scott taking strike 1. And an off-speed pitch hit into center field for the second Baltimore hit.
Well, both those pitches again. Blackburn needs to make good quality pitches. That was a changeup left up to Izturis, a fastball out over the plate that Izturis just went with. Take a look at this pitch right here to Scott. Scott leading the Orioles in home runs. No, that's not a bad pitch right there. From up here, it looked like it was about belt high. That ball had some sink on it. So sometimes you have to tip your hat to the hitter. Being a former pitcher, that was hard to do.
And I wonder sometimes if you're a pitcher, and you probably went through it too, where you have to stay with your program and realize, you know what, tip your cap to the guy, and if I throw that pitch to this left-handed batter, I might get a double play grounder down the middle of strike.
Well, you just don't want 3 or 4 guys in a row to hit good pitches.
No, I know, but I mean,
it's time to hit somebody in the ribs.
I mean, if you've made a good pitch and the result wasn't what you'd like, that doesn't mean that it wasn't a good pitch to start with.
Exactly. As long as your thought process is there.
1 strike to Markakis. And lifted foul over the Twins dugout, 2 strikes. Well, the Twins certainly expected more of Blackburn in the second half. And if you want to pick out a turning point for Blackburn, it might have been that game in Oakland where the Twins gave him a 12-2 lead, and not only did he not get the win, but the Twins didn't get the win. And Blackburn seemed to have a tough time recovering from that, and maybe now in his last start he found a means of recovering from that. Here's a pop-up, and it should reach the seats. 2 strikes.
See, I'm going before that. I thought they rested him too much time in between starts. He's a sinker ball pitcher. He had 10 days before and after the All-Star break.
The Oakland start was his first start after the game you talked about, or the All-Star break that he was given. 2 strikes to Markakis. Having a much better second half, even though his team is not. The Orioles have, in a sense, brought this guy along pretty slowly. When he first came up, he'd hit 7th or 8th, and now he's a fixture in the middle of their lineup.
Now, 2 years ago, over 100 RBIs in a season. Looks like he's going to do that again for the Orioles, who are 27.5 games in last place behind the Yankees.
Everybody flinched there, but Todd Tishner did not call it a strike.
You want to find out what that home plate umpire will give you, and that ball, that 2-seamer that comes back over maybe the corner of the plate, you'd like for that umpire to give it to you. Tishner behind the plate, Breckman, Emmel, and Darling the crew chief here.
1-2. And that is a heck of a block by Joe Mauer. Pitched nowhere near the strike zone, and Markakis had to skip rope, and somehow Morrow was able to keep that near the home plate.
Yeah, good job by Joe Mauer right here. That breaking ball right there, and it ends up hitting his right hand. You can see where it lands, about 3 feet in front of the plate.
Joe took that in the right bicep.
Yeah, and you wonder how a guy like him can hit 370. Just get punished from now and then.
Kind of answers the question, though, doesn't it? Why no American League catcher had ever won a batting title before him. 2-2. And here's a little bounder.
Get it out.
Morneau to Blackburn, who put a foot on the bag. They got Markakis, and both runners move up 2 away.
Yeah, nice play right there by Justin coming to field the ball, and also Blackburn. Tough play for a pitcher to get over there, because you know you have to look for the ball. This ball isn't hit very sharply. You have to get over there like Blackburn is, try to find the ball and the bag at the same time.
I'm going to ask you about that. How do you measure your steps when you can't watch the bag? Is it just guesswork, or just through repetition you got a pretty good sense where the bag is?
It's all the practice you had in spring training, the PFP, pitcher's fielding practice. You have a sense, you're going right to the bag, so you know you're around the bag, and hopefully you can get it in time to just look down and step, because hopefully it's right there.
And you always want your first baseman to get you the ball as quickly as you can.
Yeah,
right?
Unless you're Chuck Finley, then you trip over the bag.
1 strike to Reimold. Just off the plate, 1-1.
Yeah, Ron Krumer, I know you played some first base too. That's a tough play for a first baseman and a pitcher. The timing for, get that ball to him as quick as you can.
Yeah, Bert, the bottom line when you're playing first base is just what Dick said, is trying to get the ball to the pitcher as quick as possible. Then you don't have that issue like Chuck Finley where you're catching the ball and stepping on the bag at the same time. You try to avoid that as a first baseman throwing to the pitcher at all costs because, you know, you guys are known as not the best athletes. I don't know if you realize that or not.
Whoa!
Oh, that's coming from somebody that, what? Where'd you play, Ron, in the infield? Third and first?
Third and first.
All you have to do is stand there. That's it. And
and
maybe
wait,
once in a while hit home runs.
Decide to pitch.
1 and 2
pitchers
to
are the
Reimold.
best athletes in the world, my goodness.
And Maurer keeps that near home plate. Come on, boys. Settle down.
You are not a referee. Come on, Coombe. Keep coming.
I think it is all worked out in spring training, though. The Twins do that so much. That's a play that we do probably better than any team in baseball.
Yep. You're right. I mean, you know, just get them the ball as quick as possible so the pitcher can find the bag.
21st pitch of the inning. Breaking ball. Reimold got a piece of it. Blackburn's had to struggle here with a couple of hits. He hopes to leave those hitters aboard as runners.
Reimold in his rookie season with the Orioles, he's playing with a partially torn Achilles heel. So he's just trying to get through the season. But 12 home runs, 38 RBIs on the year, hitting .276.
Wide of the plate. And it's a full count with first base open. Left-hand hitting Michael Aubrey's on deck. So first inning, but a big pitch here for Blackburn. Toward the hole, caught by Cabrera, and the ball gets by Morneau, and 2 runs are going to score. So Cabrera came up with a throw, and it skipped by Morneau, and it's 2-0 Baltimore.
Yeah, Reimold hit this ball sharply. Cabrera got to it quickly, and then the little short hop in front of Justin unable. That's a tough play right there, and Ron Coomer can attest to that. You'd like that ball to hopefully hit the turf, but once it hits that dirt area, you don't know if that ball's going to come up or stay down, and that ball looked like it just stayed down and skipped right there.
When
Good
you look
play.
for it, it hit right on the lip of the turf and the turf and the dirt, and that's why the ball stayed down. If it hits the dirt, it checks up, and Justin catches that ball.
Right.
So a single and an air charge to Cabrera, allowing the second run to score. And the pitch is low to Aubrey. So give Reimold 1 run batted in, and the second run scoring on the throwing error. And the Orioles get the first lead of the game, 2-0. Reimold with 7 steals and 9 tries. Over, first strike, 1-1. Blackburn had that one bad inning against the Royals, then recovered from that, hoping that tonight's first inning will be his worst of the night. Orioles with 65 steals. Brian Roberts has 27 of those. Pop up near second base. Casilla calls for it. And the inning ends. A couple of runs for the Orioles. 1 earned, 1 unearned. And it's 2-0 Baltimore. Leading off, Orlando Cabrera hitting second. Joe Mauer, Justin Morneau, Jason Kubel, the three lefties lined up consecutively. Then Michael Kadire, Delman Young, Nick Punto, and Alexi Casilla.
And making his 26th start, like Nick Blackburn, it'll be Jeremy Guthrie, looking for his 9th win of the year. Making his first start here at the Dome, his second career start against the Twins. And one thing that Guthrie has allowed is a league high 29 home runs allowed.
Over his innings pitched, it's about 1 home run every 5 innings pitched. 1-0 to Span.
Guthrie, 30 years old, in his 3rd season with the Orioles. Guy that has to come straight over the top with a fastball just like that. He has some movement on that 2-seam fastball, mixing a curveball, slider, and a changeup.
And a breaking ball. Down and in, 2-1.
That's the curveball right there.
Fastball missing inside. It's 3-1. Span's never faced Guthrie. And a strike on the outside corner. Full count.
Yeah, Guthrie coming off a very good start in his last start in Chicago. A 5-1 winner over the White Sox. He worked 7 innings, allowed only 1 run, with a couple walks and a couple strikeouts.
Up the middle, sharply hit, and a leadoff single for Span. Span took a couple strikes, took 3 balls, and then hit the whiskers off one right up the middle. Here's the Oriole defense, brought to you by Northland Ford. Reimold, PA, and Markakis in the outfield. Wigginton at third, Scott at first, Isturis and Roberts up the middle. Chad Moeller, the former Twin, behind the plate. Felix PA back out there in center, where last night we saw him make a tremendous catch in right center field. Here's Cabrera. Strike on the outside corner.
On a 3-2 pitch, Span looking fastball. He got it right back up the middle. He continues to swing a hot bat.
Span leading the team with 19 steals. Down and away, 1-1.
Chad Moeller behind the plate, former Twin, pretty good arm behind the plate. Guthrie needs to utilize that slide step if Span is looking to steal a base. Get that ball to Moeller as quick as possible. Guthrie once with the Indians, their #1 pick back in 2002 out of Stanford University. He came up with the Indians, made a couple relief appearances, and then was claimed off waivers by the Orioles in January of 2007.
Well, a little move there, the little step off and look over reminds me in another way of another former Stanford product, Mike Messina. His delivery, I think, somewhat similar. Messina was an over-the-top guy with a good breaking ball.
Yeah, they're built about the same. Messina and Guthrie about 6'1", 195.
2-1 to Cabrera. Span goes, and a foul tip that really got a piece of Moeller. Ouch. And Richie Banso's the Baltimore trainer coming out. Of course, Moeller coming out of his crouch, prepare to throw. Right off the top of the shin guard. Or the thigh. Moeller getting a little extra time here.
Yeah, Moeller originally signed by the Twins back in 1996.
They say that he's been the perfect mentor for Matt Wieters, the outstanding catching prospect, a guy who's kind of been through the wars a little bit, knows a little bit about how to call a game, and has really made himself available to Wieters at every turn to help the rookie along. So now 2-2 to Cabrera. Span goes, and a ball hit to short, and he is safe there. And Cabrera, slow out of the box, is retired at first. So by sending Span, the Twins stayed out of the double play, and Cabrera is retired.
Yeah, Sturris right here. He flips the ball to Roberts. It's Roberts that's covering the bag. Sturris holding his ground. And Roberts throwing the ball over to first base. Cabrera had a little tough time getting out of that batter's box. Hit the ball sharply.
Here's Maurer with a runner in scoring position and one away. And a fastball over the outside corner. They've won 5 games in a row, and it hasn't been Maurer or Morneau that have led the offensive charge. Both players, of course, Morneau missed the Kansas City series. Both players have seen teammates provide the biggest hits. 1-1.
And that's what you need to win 5 straight. You just can't jump on a couple guys back. It takes the whole team. And Ron Coomer talked about that in pregame. And they're playing together as a team now. And that's where winning can cure a lot of bad habits. You know, it just, everything's going right. Even though the Twins are down 2-0, they know they're going to hopefully win this ball game. It's that power of positive thinking that a winning streak can create in a team atmosphere.
And I think just, you know, the confidence of, if you're Joe Mauer or Justin Morneau, realizing, you know, if I don't get it done, Jason Kubel, Michael Kadire, Delman Young will get a big hit and we'll find a way to win the game.
Right.
1-1 to Mauer. And now 2-1.
Well, they started Mauer with a fastball away. The last 2 pitches hard inside. Guthrie on the year has worked 147 innings. He's walked 47 with 82 strikeouts.
Mauer trying to at least cut the Baltimore lead in half here with a hit to the outfield. That's down the left field line. Chased by Reimold. And he makes a fair ball catch for out number 2. And now Morneau. Morneau looking for home run number 30. This would be a good spot for one, obviously. But again, Morneau with 95 runs batted in, hoping to also get to the 100 RBI mark.
Yeah, Mark Teixeira with 93 RBI on the year.
And Pena with all the home runs has 91 for the Rays. 1 strike. Sails away 1-1. Of course, Morneau twice has hit 30 home runs, hit more than 30. 34 in 2006, 31 in 2007. One and one with Span at second and 2 away. Off-speed pitch floats over beautifully. 69 miles per hour. 1-2.
Good curveball right there.
He said last night Zach Greinke of the Royals had a 30-mile-per-hour spread between his slow curve and an upper 90s fastball.
Well, he struck out 15 last night.
Wow.
Broke the Kansas City record held by Mark Gubazov. The most strikeouts in a ball game. And there's a strikeout.
A fly out to left by Maurer, a strikeout of Morneau, and Guthrie pitches out of a jam.
as we head into inning number 2, as we welcome you back to Twins Baseball on Fox Sports North. I'm Robbie Mikowski, and the Minnesota Twins tonight have Nick Blackburn on the mound. Tomorrow's the off day, and Friday, Brian Dunsing is scheduled to make his 3rd start for the Minnesota Twins this season. Now, you mentioned before the Twins have used 22 pitchers this season, and there may be a chance that they could go above 23 or higher. And that's because Ron Gardenhire was asked before the game about the availability of Francisco Liriano following his return from the disabled list. And Gardy said he's not sure where he could put Liriano. The guy wasn't having his best stuff before he went on the DL. Then he has a dead arm. Where can we put him when we come back? So the Twins are going to have some interesting decisions to make, Dick and Bert, about their starting rotation within the next week or so.
Thank you, Robbie. Gardy also said the Twins are continuing to look at the waiver wire. Here's a bouncer to short. A head-high hop for Cabrera. And Wigginton retired one away. And I mentioned R.A. Dickey, who's now starting for Rochester, was with the team as a reliever, primarily a reliever before. Armando Gabino, right now, in the absence of anybody else, would be taking his turn again. And as Gardy said, you know, you look to your AAA team after September 1st for call-ups, they're all here already. Manship, Keppel, Humbert, and now Gabino. So it'll be one of the interesting things here in the final 5+ weeks of the season to see who makes the starts and how effective they are. PA, the hitter. Snap bat and a little flare, caught by Casilla, out number 2. That'll bring up Moeller.
Well, I think we have to remember that the Twins are in a pennant drive right here. I mean, they want to catch the White Sox, which they have. They want to catch the Tigers, and you can't have guys like Cabino go out there and pitch the way he did. You need to have somebody go out there at least give me 5-6 good innings. Not a very good opening major league debut for that young man.
What's the cliche? Give your team a chance to win. And the Twins won last night, but not because of anything Gabino did. Moeller taking a strike. In the short term, the Twins are going to keep everybody in rotation. In other words, they're not going to skip anybody with tomorrow's off day. And one of the reasons Ron Gardenhire said, Carl Pavano apparently when he was with the Indians had a cortisone shot, and Pavano has said, you know, he could use an extra day. Keeping in mind he's had 4 injury-plagued seasons, and he's pitched more this year than he has probably in the last 4 years combined. And so Pavano asked for the extra day. So Dunsing, Pavano, and Baker will be the 3 starters in the Texas series. And of course the series after that is the White Sox, and those last 3 games Chicago plays here will be so important, and Twins do have some decisions to make as to who to put in those spots for those 3 starts. 1-2 to Moeller. And now 2-2.
As I mentioned before, Chad Moeller, 34 years old. Twins signed him back out of USC back in 1996. Came up with the Twins in 2000. The Orioles, his 7th different team to play for at the major league level. More known as a defensive catcher than an offensive type catcher. A career .225 hitter coming into this year. He hit .211 for the Twins back in 2000 in 48 games.
Up and in, and Moeller draws a walk. The number 9 hitter draws a walk. For a Dodge game break, let's go to Robbie and Smikowski.
Dick, thank you very much. Let's head out to Fenway Park, where it's White Sox, Red Sox again. And it's good news for Twins fans, as Alex Gonzalez has hit a home run for the Boston Red Sox to put them ahead 2-1. They're in the bottom of the 6th inning. And the Minnesota Twins seems like they have the Orioles, guys, right where they want them, down 2-0. Time for another comeback. Maybe they could start tasting 3.5 behind the Detroit Tigers.
Thank you, Robbie. Earlier, David Ortiz hit a home run for the Red Sox against Gavin Floyd. Brian Roberts hit a ground ball to Justin Morneau his first time up. Slap foul. And it's 1-1. And Roberts with one down the line. Young gets in front of it. Moeller will check in at second. So the Orioles have got a couple of runs in the first on a 2-out hit. Now we're putting together a 2-out rally in the second.
Yeah, Roberts, very steady hitter from both sides of the plate, a switch hitter. He's got a pitch and just went with it.
And that'll bring up his Turris. It looked like Blackburn was going to have a pretty quick second inning here. First 2 outs came easily, and now Moeller with a walk, Roberts with a single, and Asturis, who singled his first time up and scored one of the 2 Baltimore runs. Hit to right. Kadir makes a reaching catch, and Blackburn catches a break with his right fielder making a nice catch. I did not. That's Itasca Lake Itasca State Park in northwestern Minnesota. It's Minnesota's oldest state park, established in 1891. More than 32,000 acres and includes more than 100 lakes. You can visit exploreminnesota.com and plan your next Minnesota vacation today.
Now that looks like a great place to go fishing. A little hole right there. You do any fishing there?
Not right there, no. I had a niece who fell in there, and we had to pick a few leeches off her ankle, but nothing serious. Here's Kubel leading off the second. Sharply hit, but right at the first baseman, Scott. Why is it, by the way, the Mississippi River is called the Mississippi River? It starts in Minnesota. No? We have another river called the Minnesota River, but wouldn't you name the big river after where it starts rather than where it ends?
Good question. You have it in that book?
No, but Itasca, 2 Latin words together. Veritas, truth, and caput, head, and so they took the back end of one word and the front end of the other word and came up with Itasca.
That's a great book you have there.
Henry Schoolcraft was the guy who named Itasca River and the county.
Wow.
And Lake Itasca and the park and all that.
I graduated from high school. Thank you very much.
1-1.
Barely.
And Kadir breaks his bat and skips one to second. And Roberts throws him out, 2 down. You can ask us a question online at carsoup.com/baseball. John Howe from Red Wing, Minnesota. Why aren't more players willing to be hit with pitches these days like Don Baylor used to?
Oh, Don Baylor. The thing about Don Baylor, who I pitched against and with, of course, he was with us in 1987, it's not that, he wasn't trying to get hit. He just didn't move. If you're trying to pitch him inside, you expect a guy to maybe go back a little bit. Don Baylor did not move. I remember I threw a ball one time that hit him over his left elbow right into his rib area, and the ball stuck there, and he threw it back at me and ran to first. It didn't even faze him. And that's before the pads were in baseball. And that could be one reason that, you try to pitch inside. You pitch to both sides of the plate.
Isturis comes up firing, and a nice scoop at first by Scott. Young nearly got another ground ball hit, and instead Guthrie has a 1-2-3 second. Deposits for the inaugural season at Target Field. 2010 season packages are available in full season, half season, and 20-game plans with deposits just $100 a seat. Call 833-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com for more information. People who are over at the ballpark today say that the outfield grass now is about halfway laid with the new turf coming in from Colorado. Luke Scott will lead off the third inning for the Orioles, and the first pitch inside. And along those lines, we're very happy to have Bob Showers with us, who has just authored a book, The Twins at the Met, speaking of their days at the Metropolitan Stadium. And Bob, swinging a miss by Scott, 1-1. Bert talked about it a little bit last night, and I had a chance to page through the book today. It's just a fascinating book, and the thing that I think really makes it neat is all the great old pictures that you have of the old ballpark and the players.
Well, I love great old pictures, so it was a real thrill for me to be able to get a little dust under my fingernails and root around the bowels of the Metrodome and finding all these great old photos and color slides and things like that, because it really plays into the passion that I have for the old Met.
What's so neat about this, Bob, is as you open up a page, I'm on the Halsey Hall page right now, and you have different players saying different things about Halsey Hall, who is a great character.
Indeed. When I interviewed the 16 gentlemen, and Bert, of course, you being one of them, it was so much fun.
Oh, thank you. Gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
16 gentlemen and Bert.
Yeah, that's...
It was fun to be able to use the photos of Halsey and Leo Cardenas.
Bouncer to Morneau, Blackburn covers, and a quick first out here in the third.
To use the photos to evoke the memories that you guys have, and not just ask the standard questions that you get asked so often, but
who's that guy?
Let these photos pull the memories out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those are memories.
Well, just pictures of the old ballpark. You have pictures in there of the campers weekend and the dairy day, when they would milk the cows out on the field.
Yeah, why don't they do stuff like that anymore? No more milking cows and hitting golf balls. Like you got a photo of Harmon doing that.
When I opened up that page, I thought that I really thought that you would have a picture of me and Phil Roof actually milking the cow, and I was in the back pushing the tail up and down.
The old pump handle?
Oh, yeah. But I didn't see that in here.
Well, PG-13.
Well, how can fans go about getting the book? It's just recently published, right?
It hit my hands just Friday. It was about a year and a half of work that I enjoyed very much. We're going to debut it starting tomorrow at the Twins exhibit at the State Fair.
Okay.
And for the next week and a half, exclusively sold by the Twins at the State Fair and their Pro Shop locations. And then along about Labor Day, head to your favorite bookstore, go online. You'll be able to find it there.
It's got some great pictures of the memories of the old Met. This is your second book, you said, that you've been able to finish.
Yeah, the first book I did, Minnesota North Stars, History and Memories with Lou Nanny. That book came out October of 2007, and had such a good time with Lou on that book. About halfway through that process, I made the decision that I wanted to keep the momentum going and do a Met Stadium book. I grew up in Waterloo, Iowa, and my two favorite vacation destinations were
High fly to center, should be playable for Span. 2 down.
All right. Favorite vacation destinations were Twins game in the summer and North Stars in the winter, and these two books were just something that I was really passionate about doing, and wanted the books themselves to sit side by side on a coffee table like the arena and the stadium did out in Bloomington.
That's what I didn't imagine. I didn't know that the Beatles actually played there and the Eagles played at the old Met.
Well, there's a lot of urban myths around the Met that exist, and I hope to once and for all take care of those. The main one being the Beatles concert. They were out there August 21, 1965. There were 30,000 people there, and Ray Crump served as their host because they got to town at 1 o'clock. They didn't want to take him downtown with a horde of fans, so they trucked him right across the street, and they hung out in the Twins locker room for about 8 hours, and Ray Crump had his camera there and took a lot of candid photos, and he was nice enough to let me be the first person to ever publish these rare Beatle photos. They're the first time they're seen outside of his museum across the street here. So thanks to Ray and his baseball museum, and we'll break a little ground for Beatles fans out there. And I've got the set list that they played that night, and so many fun memories aside from Twins.
Fly to left center field. Span makes the catch. Bob, thanks for stopping by, and thanks for putting together such a great book. Just a fascinating book for Twins fans of any age to page through.
My pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity.
Punto can do about that against Jeremy Guthrie. He takes ball one. It'll be Punto, Casilla, Span, and then the Twins hope Cabrera, Mauer, Morneau, and a bunch of others. Punto getting the start at third base. And he takes ball two. Now just paging through that book this morning. And a couple hours later, I was taking care of some matters outside, and I kept humming a song, and I finally recognized it as Satin Doll, a song I hadn't even thought about in 20 years. And I wonder, well, now why was I humming that? And that was one of Ronnie Newman's favorite songs that he would play before every Twins game as an organist at Met Stadium. And somehow going through that book and seeing all those pictures subconsciously triggered Ronnie Newman playing Satin Doll at the Met Stadium. 2-2 to Punto. Twins find themselves behind Guthrie and the Orioles 2-0 early. And a foul down by the Twins bullpen. How many times were you involved in the cow milking contest, or? You know?
Oh, I never milked the cow. I just helped out. Like I said, I was the pump in the back. No, Phil. As long as Phil Roof was there, he was the milker. He was the cow milker.
And with those hands, I felt sorry for the cow.
Yeah.
Another foul down by the Twins bullpen.
We did the egg tossing. I know Danny Thompson and we did the egg tossing.
What was involved with that?
Well, you started off maybe about 30 feet away. It was a raw egg. I mean, and then we'd throw it and he'd try to catch it. Don't break it. And Danny and I actually got a good curveball right there. And Guthrie picks up his second strikeout, a second called strikeout. But Danny and I actually I was at home plate and we were tossing that egg almost all the way down the right field line. And we would just catch it. Our soft hands would catch it.
Wasn't a hard-boiled egg.
Well, they found out later it was hard-boiled. But we could throw that egg. Good curveball right there. Good tight rotation. Ron Coomer, I mean, right now, Guthrie seems like he's attacking the strike zone very nicely.
He is, Bert. I got to watch his pregame warm-ups in the bullpen before. Fastball, good curveball, and good changeup. To me, he's worked in and out, but he's been able to throw his fastball where he wants with a little cut at times, and then he's also had a very good breaking ball like that one. For a left-hander, he starts it out, and it almost seems like there's no way it's going to come back. Has good tilt and good bite to it. He looks very good so far.
2 quick strikes to Casilla.
Always tell by a pitcher how he gets over that pitching rubber, whether he's rushing or not and staying back. And to throw a curveball or a changeup, you really have to tell yourself to stay back, allow your arm to catch up so it can get in front, and really that's where the curveball comes from. And Guthrie tries to keep that shoulder in just like that, and he gets another strikeout, his third.
Gave up a leadoff hit to Span, and he's retired the next 8 batters.
Let's take a look at the delivery of Jeremy Guthrie from the side. And right here, just easy, get to the balance point, and then explode toward home plate. Very quick arm.
Well, here's Span, who waited on Guthrie, got a 3-2 pitch and hammered it into center field for a leadoff hit. Down and away, ball 1.
We were talking last night to Andy McPhail about Jeremy Guthrie, and I mentioned, he's probably has the most experience on the starting staff right now, and Andy said he's helped, but he's been struggling himself, and sometimes that's difficult when you're struggling and now you're trying to tell your younger starting mates, what you want to do. You want to go out there and lead by example. But sometimes when you struggle, we had that in Anaheim one time when Dave Parker came over. And everybody expected Dave Parker to be the leader of the Angels, but he hit like 140, 150 and ended up getting released. And he never could be the leader that I think the Angels thought he would be because he just couldn't perform the way that he expected it at that time.
No, if Carl Provano comes over to the Twins and pitches his second game during his first game when the results weren't all that good, he had a short start, less than 5 innings, well, then people aren't as impressed. But when you come and have an immediate impact like Pavano does, it kind of chopper over the mound. Izturis fires to first, and he got Span in a close play. 9 in a row sent down by Jeremy Guthrie.
Great grandma down there. You are hereby circled. Thank you for the signs.
Michael Aubrey will lead off the 4th for the Orioles. Nick Blackburn gave up a couple of runs in the first, 1 earned, 1 unearned. First pitch roller to Casilla. 1 down. Aflac trivia question. The Aflac duck thinking he stumped us last night, but I think we got it right last night too. Which Oriole has the most all-time homers at the Metrodome? That could be a trick question because the answer could be Eddie Murray, and they could be counting the Cleveland home runs. You know, but he is an Oriole. As an Oriole, you'd think it probably was Ripken, wouldn't you think? His career paralleled the first 20 years of this ballpark.
Right.
So I'll go Ripken.
And I'll go Murray just because they were, teammates for a long time.
Right.
I think we got a blanket over this one.
Think we nailed it?
Yeah, I think we do.
2-1 to Wigginton. Bounced to short his first time up. Popped up left side. Cabrera. Out number 2. Time for our Radio Shack. What do you know? 2.5 acres of turf harvested for Target Field in Colorado. And the field will be complete Friday morning.
Wow. That's cool how they lay that. I'll see that tomorrow firsthand. My wife
Are you
Gail
going
and
on
I,
a tour over there?
My brother's coming in with his wife tonight, and we're going to go see the new stadium.
Blasted to center and gone, a home run for Felix Piet. Piet playing because of some back stiffness for Adam Jones, and he jumped all over Blackburn's first pitch to make it 3-0.
Yeah, Piet, who made that great catch last night, but also had some trouble on the base paths, kind of made up for it right there. Hitting home run number 5 on the year. Got a fastball up. Good extension by Piet. And Span just watching it go over the fence out in right center. So the Orioles take a 3-0 lead.
I'll bring up Moeller, who drew a 2-out walk in the second inning, and he takes ball 1.
For Blackburn, his 20th home run he's allowed this year. 2 starts ago, he gave up 3 to the Cleveland Indians. Last start, a couple home runs allowed. But 5 of the last 6 have been solo home runs.
Laced to center, a base hit. So Moeller has reached twice against Blackburn. And the most damaging at bats against Blackburn have all come with 2 outs in an inning. Moeller was actually traded by the Twins late in spring training 2001. And as he told me the other day, he got traded just in time because he got to be a part of a world championship team with the Diamondbacks in 2001.
Well, remember, Moeller was part of that 2000 team where there was 5 different catchers.
Oh, yeah.
A.J. Brzezinski, Moeller, Matthew Lecroy, Jensen,
Danny
Adwa.
Here's Brian Roberts, singled his last time up. Just off the inside corner, and it's 1-1.
Boy, you know, Blackburn, that's a big pitch for him. We saw it in the first inning, not getting called and not missing by much. Again, sometimes when that home plate umpire sets right over the shoulder of Joe Mauer, the right side, and between him and that hitter, you almost have you have to have an inch or 2 of that plate for him to call it.
Isn't that the way it should be? You got to hit the plate to have a call to strike.
I'm talking
right?
about the corner. You have to hit an inch or 2 of the plate. There's still that corner, that black area, that should be called a strike. That's part of the plate. See that area right in here? I want to be perfect. That's the corners right there. That's where you want to pitch to. And if any of that ball gets that corner, it should be a strike.
Hold foul, still 1-2.
See, that ball a little bit too much of the plate.
Blackburn 66 pitches, trying to button up the 4th inning here. In the top of the 8th, Boston with a 2-1 lead over Chicago. Play another game there tomorrow. And hook foul again behind John T-Bone Shelby.
Well, last 4 pitches, inner half of the plate to Roberts. See if they go with that changeup away.
1-2.
Watch Mauer move. Now 6 away. And it's a changeup, but he left it up. And Roberts hit it hard, but foul.
That's 3 straight fouls now off the barrel of Roberts' bat.
Yeah, Blackburn knows a good changeup. You want to try to drop it right on top of home plate. He left that ball up, and Roberts had a good swing on it.
One and 2 to Roberts. And another foul. Earlier this afternoon, the Angels finally beat the Tigers 4-2. The Tigers had lost 10 straight road series before winning the first 2 games against a very good Angels team. So that's opened the door for the Twins if they can come back and win this game to pick up the game on the Tigers and get to within 3.5. 1-2 to Roberts, and now 2-2. A long at bat here. Blackburn has already thrown 70 pitches. Curve foul back. Orioles making a long-term commitment to Roberts, to Markakis, and they've gotten a lot younger all around them. Maybe the guy they're most excited about, Adam Jones, not even playing in this series because of some back stiffness. All-star for the Orioles. 2-2 to Roberts. And that'll find a hole. Oh, what a great catch! They got him!
Wow, how did he do that?
Casilla deflected it to Cabrera to end the inning.
How did he do that? The mound slowed it up, but how did he get that ball to Cabrera? Watch this play right here. He just kind of in the glove, flipped the glove, and somehow the ball got over to Cabrera. What a fantastic play. You know, you can take all the infield practice you want, but I'm sure you never practiced this right here. Wow.
Well, here's Cabrera, and now the first two pitches from Guthrie sail high. When teams are going well and things aren't going well at the plate, sometimes a play like that can get the bats going. We'll see if that's what happens here in the fourth. 3-0 now to Cabrera.
I've seen a lot of great plays over my tenure at watching baseball and being in baseball, but my goodness, that was awesome.
3-0. And Cabrera takes one down the middle.
Take another look right here. I mean, this looks like it's a base hit. I mean, just what else can you say? Wow.
And barehanded, Guthrie makes the catch, and Cabrera retired on a 3-1 bunt attempt.
With Wigginton playing back, what Cabrera tried to do was bunt it down that third baseline, but instead the ball just kind of went too close to Guthrie and used the first out.
Here's Mauer. Going to fly ball to the left field corner, caught by Raimo. 10 in a row set down now by Guthrie. Ball one. And Guthrie, who fell behind Cabrera, falls behind Mauer. There's a hit. Might have cracked his bat, but he got a base hit to center with one out in the fourth. So Mauer aboard for Morneau. Aflac trivia question: the Oriole record holder for home runs hit at the Metrodome, and I believe this to be true. I think Harmon Killebrew held the record at Old Memorial Stadium for opponent home runs. I got Ripken, you got Murray, and it's Ripken.
And Murray second, along with Brady Anderson.
Probably hit 10 of those in that 1 year.
When he hit 50.
Morneau checks his swing and takes ball one. Interesting that although Murray did it while he was a member of the Indians, he got his 3,000th hit here at the Dome, and Ripken got his 3,000th hit here at the Dome. Drilled to right center field. Down for a hit. It's going to run the gap. Mauer to third. Being waved home. Morneau to second with an RBI double. So Guthrie sailing along into the fourth inning, and then he started falling behind hitters. And he fell behind some very good hitters and paid the price.
Well, location right there. Morneau looked like it was a breaking ball that just stayed up, and Justin did not miss it. And the break for the Twins, a little slider that goes right into the swing of Justin. When the ball hit the fence out in right center, watch this ball right here. It kind of hit so hard that it kind of just got away from the center fielder. That allowed Joe Mauer to score from first base. So Justin with his 29th double of the year, driving in his 96th run. And the Twins are on the board.
Here's Kubel. And he takes a strike. Ron Coomer, you're sitting by the Twins dugout there. You notice anything about Guthrie and a change maybe in the fourth inning?
Dick, definitely. This is the first inning. His slider hasn't been biting straight down, and his pitches have been elevated a little bit, and because of that, he's flattened out, and guys are getting much better swings at him.
1-1 to Kubel.
Yeah, that's what surprises me, Ron, is that, guys that have a good curveball, like we've seen his curveball, then he goes to the slider. Why not stay with the curveball? There's so many things that you can do more with the curveball than you can a slider. That slider went right into the swing of Justin, where a curveball goes from 12 to 6.
Bounce to the right side. Fumbled by the first baseman. Scott recovers and gets it to Guthrie. So Kubel retired, out number 2, and Morneau to third. Minnesota Wild are unveiling their new jersey Sunday at 12:30 at the State Fair. Join Derek Bugard and Nordy at the Fan Central building located at Dan Patch and Underwood to get a glimpse of the Wild's third jersey. Here's Michael Kadire. I mentioned that Guthrie's given up a lot of home runs. This would be a good spot for one. Get the Twins tied up here against the Orioles. Strike one. Kadire hit a ground ball to second his first time up.
See, there's that curveball right there for strike one.
Ooh, came inside, and Kadire lucky he didn't hit his hands.
That was a jam sandwich right there. But if you notice, the one thing and the reason why Michael went after that pitch is because it's elevated. Bert, to your point, the one thing about a curveball that the slider does not have, along with the changeup, is just a change of speed also. Right. I think you may get a guy out with the break of the curveball, especially righty on righty, but also the change of speed gets guys as much as anything else, and he's got a good one.
Moeller can't quite hang on to a foul tip.
I've always said to people that have a slider and a curveball, name me one guy that's in the Hall of Fame that had a good slider and a curveball combined. Tom Seaver, known as a great slider. Steve Carlton, great slider. They didn't throw a curveball. They threw sliders, and they were good at it. Bob Gibson, same thing, hard slider.
Moeller sets up outside, and Guthrie delivers.
Nolan Ryan, not only his great fastball, but boy, when he could get that curveball over, he never threw a slider. When he could get that curveball over, he was unhittable.
Bob Feller had a great curve, but it's known for a 100-mile-per-hour fastball.
Right. It's tough to control two breaking balls when you have one that's better. Why throw the slider? Throw the curveball.
Headed up the middle, cut off by Asteris. He sets and fires, and Kadire retires. The Twins get one and leave one. It's 3-1. Quest. Get free 2 gigs online backup service with Quest high-speed internet. By Grand Casino Mille Lacs and Grand Casino Hinckley. Expect grand. And by Chrysler. From power and efficiency to innovation and style, it's the way our vehicles come together that sets us apart. Chrysler. Cesar Esturris leading off the 5th for the Orioles, and he's just taken strike 1 from Nick Blackburn. Hope to left. And Delman Young leaves it in front of him. Not a bad play leading off the inning. If he goes for the ball and doesn't get it, Esturris, who runs real well, probably would have at least third base.
That's always a tricky play right there, because not only Delman held up right there, but it's when it hits the turf, that ball has some spin on it, and Delman able to get that big glove on the ball. Watch his ball when it hits in front of Delman. He backs up and then has to go almost over his right shoulder.
He actually played it pretty well. He played it to the right, anticipating the bounce a little bit.
Yeah.
We saw what happened in Kansas City with the Royal right fielders. If you over pursue a ball and don't get it, a real circus starts. So a leadoff single. Blackburn will try to deal with that. Twins down a couple of runs. Scott at the plate. Go to the bottom of the 8th. Chicago tied with Boston 2-2.
Esturris, pretty good speed at first base. 10 stolen bases in 13 attempts. And the Twins thinking he may be going here. A couple throw-overs.
Orioles on their way to their 12th straight losing season. Trying to finish strongly, something they've not done in recent years. High fly to right. Kadire toward the line. Makes the catch. And Esturris knows all about Michael Kadire's arm. No chance to advance. 1 away.
That's one thing I'm wondering next year. Now, when Scott hit that ball, I lost it. We can't see it go up.
Right.
I'm wondering next year if we're just going to watch the outfielders like you do with Kadire right there, rather than maybe actually seeing the ball.
Well, you're going to go tomorrow. You'll go spend some time in the press box, and I think you'll see what I saw a month or so ago when I was there. You will be able to actually see the flight of the ball, which you wouldn't think would be too much to ask for media people, but Esturris goes. Mauer's throw. Stolen base for Esturris.
He had a great jump right there. Mauer has an outstanding arm, one of the best in both leagues, but if that runner has the lead and the jump that Esturris has, look at him take off right there. By the time Joe releases the ball, Esturris is 2/3 of the way. So he steals his 11th base of the year, gets in the scoring position with 1 out.
Markakis is 0 for 2. He just took strike 1. Pop straight up. Blackburn can catch it if he wants.
You see it?
And Punto right behind Blackburn, who bailed on it at the last instant. It was hit almost on top of the pitching rubber. 2 down.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe Blackburn did not hear Nick Punto right here, but Blackburn, I mean, you have to stay with it until somebody calls you off. And it's Nick Punto kind of doing a juggling act. I don't see him there, right there. I've got it. Get out of my way. And Blackburn a little late getting out of the way.
Nolan Reimold. Well, now Jim Cott would have just put that in his back pocket, or would have waved everybody off, right?
I always liked Jim Cott when there was a foul ball catch between, say, third and home, and there's 2 guys going after it, and it's high enough to where, one guy calls it. He would grab like the catcher. If the third baseman called it, he'd like grab the catcher and get him out of the way. Yeah. Boy, he that's why he won 16 Rolling Gold Gloves. He could field his position, but he also managed the infield.
1-1 to Reimold. Breaking ball. Snaps over for a strike. 1-2.
Good curveball right there by Blackburn.
80 pitches on the night for Blackburn. And to finish up the 5th here, pitch at least through the 6th. 2-2.
Reimold, 25 years old, signed by the Orioles back in 2005. Their number 2 pick out of Bowling Green University. Started the season in AAA, got called up in the middle of May.
Two and two. You got a piece. Now you got 287 wins in your career, so I can't imagine the gap between any 2 wins was very long. But do you have any idea how many starts you might have had without a win? Blackburn's had 7 starts where he's failed to pick up his 9th win. He hopes to get it here tonight.
I don't recall. I'm sure there was probably times throughout my career I went through stretches like this that you don't pitch good, and then when you pitch good, you don't get a lot of runs support. You just keep going out there, and hopefully things go your way.
Twins hope to get a run or 2 back in the 5th before the big 6th inning they're going to put together again tonight.
Oh, there you go. I think you know these people.
Yes, that's Alex Wilson from Dumont, Minnesota. He was one of my neighbors a long, long time ago. It's his 90th birthday today, so he's here with his family. And
look at that.
He circled Delman Young. That's not his birthday. So happy birthday, Alex. Great to see you in such great shape and enjoying Twins baseball at the age of 90.
It looks good.
1-1 to Delman Young, leading off the Twins' 5th. Bottom third of the Twins lineup facing Guthrie, Young, Punto, and Casilla.
Well, Guthrie's been able to get some ground ball outs. 8 ground ball outs, only 1 fly ball out to go along with 3 strikeouts.
At the top of the 9th, tied at 2. White Sox and Red Sox. Twins got a couple runs to make up here against Guthrie and the Orioles. Swing and a miss, 2-2.
Took a little off that fastball right there.
Young made a bid for another ground ball hit, hitting one towards the hole, but Asturis turned in a fine play to throw him out at first. Another one towards the hole. Asturis again comes up firing to get Young by a step.
Boy, Asturis has made some nice plays to his right. We've seen him make some nice plays up the middle.
The big news tonight at twinsbaseball.com. You can log on and check out the Wendy's All Metrodome Team Medallion Set. That can only be purchased at twinsbaseball.com. The medallions feature the 18 members of the Wendy's All Metrodome Team, and there are only 5,000 sets available to the public. Check out the details right now at twinsbaseball.com. Nick Punto takes a strike.
Oh, there's the curveball right there, and he gets the ground ball out. 9 ground ball outs so far, and Asturis has made about 4 or 5 of those.
Up and away to Punto. Last year, the Orioles had 6 different shortstops, and they've gone with Asturis. They've had to work around his appendicitis, but boy, he's made an impression here on this turf.
Yeah, 5 ground ball outs to Asturis.
Up and in, 2-1 to Punto. Punto called out on strikes his first time up. Swing and a miss, 2-2.
Guthrie last year made 30 starts for the Orioles. He won 10, he lost 12, but a very good 3.63 earned run average. Worked 190 innings.
2-2. Punto lifts one foul. Punto 0 for 6 now, lifetime against Guthrie. Harris actually had some success, but if you know Ron Gardner, you know one of the main reasons he's starting Punto here in this game. More defensive range. You got a sinker ball pitcher and Blackburn on the mound. And Punto strikes out for out number 2.
And Guthrie picking up his 4th strikeout.
The Minnesota State Fair starts tomorrow. You can stop by the Fox Sports North Be a Sports Anchor booth located at the corner of Cooper and Judson for a chance to record a free sports update, register to win prizes, and more. And we hope to see you at the fair. It's right there. Right next to the International Bazaar.
That's bizarre.
And boy, if you know as many of the FSN North employees as I do, they belong right next to a bazaar. Into the seats, out of play, 1 strike. Casilla struck out his first time up. Wins with just 3 hits from left-handed batters. Span got one in the first. Mauer and Morneau got hits in the 4th. Pop straight up. Moeller with room ends the inning. And it's a good 5th for Guthrie. A 1-2-3 inning, and it's still 3-1 Baltimore.
Winner's Circle, and I have a couple here married 50 years. Introduce yourselves to the audience.
Sharon Meyer.
Sharon and your husband?
Ron Meyer.
Sharon and Ron Meyer. And there's Bert waving at you right now. Not only is he circling you, but he's going to wave you. Bert, they're blowing you kisses, married 50 years.
I love kisses.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Bert doesn't want kisses, but in exchange, Bert would like to give you $100 in Minnesota State Lottery tickets for being in the Minnesota State Lottery Winner's Circle. Happy anniversary. Hope you're having a great time.
Thank you.
All right, Bert. You want to blow them a few more kisses before they leave?
Hey, wait a minute.
There you go.
Robbie, does it say in the bottom he was an umpire?
He was an umpire for 20 years. That's correct.
Wow.
Well,
All right,
umpire,
so
right?
you
Amateur umpire. I worked all the
kissed
amateur
an
stuff.
umpire.
He was an amateur umpire.
Let the record show Burt Blyleven has blown a kiss to an umpire.
Yeah, whatever it takes. Get that strike zone a little bit bigger.
You're not the first one who sat in that chair who used to cuddle up to umpires.
Oh, I didn't say I cuddled up to him.
2-1 to Aubrey. Blackburn with 86 pitches, hoping to put a 0 up here in the 6th. Let his offense go to work in the 6th inning, but here's a rocket to center field and an opening base hit for Aubrey. Second inning in a row now where the Orioles have gotten a leadoff hit.
Yeah, Aubrey swinging a good bat. Now, he came over from the Cleveland Indians in a trade for a player to name later, so he's getting some playing time here, and, you know, he's taking advantage of that. He came into the game hitting .417. Fighting for a job for maybe, you know, the rest of this year and also next year.
Wigginton will hit. Dave Tremblay and Terry Crowley hoping the Orioles can win one game here. Orioles actually did the Twins a favor. In fact, Guthrie a big part of that. The Orioles took 2 out of 3 against the White Sox in Chicago, and Guthrie pitched a great ball game there. And he's got another good one going here tonight. 1 strike. A lot of the outs for Blackburn. For a sinker ball pitcher, seems to be getting a lot of outs through the air.
Yeah, he hasn't had a double play turned behind him, and Blackburn usually pretty good at that. 12 double plays turned behind him so far this year.
It's a little chopper to third, and Punto has just 1 play over to first. And Aubrey goes to second, 1 away.
Yeah, Wigginton getting jammed right there, not hit hard enough to go to second base, and Punto did the right thing. But Albury moves from first to second. Yeah, Blackburn last year, he was, 31 double plays turned behind him. And only Mark Burley had more. Jeff Manship starting to warm up. Blackburn's pitch count. His next pitch will be his 90th.
PA cranked a home run to center field his last time up. Hit a soft line drive to Casilla his first time up. Up and away, ball 1. We would see it go in waves for Carlos Silva too. In recent years, he's probably, prior to Blackburn, the best sinker ball pitcher that the Twins had. He would get a lot of ground ball outs, but he'd go through spells too where the ground balls would find holes, and time called.
Well, that's one thing Rick Anderson told Robbie before the ball game. He wanted Blackburn to mix in all his pitches. He felt the first 3 innings in that Kansas City start, his last start, that he just went strictly fastballs, and he gave up 3 runs in the first 3 innings. But then he settled down by changing speeds and working in the breaking ball. There's a nice little cutter right there, and that's a strike.
Wow. 2-0.
See, this is where you want your catcher, if you're a pitcher right there, to say something, because he's behind the mask. That's a pitch that is a strike. You don't want the pitcher to say anything. I know, I've been thrown out before.
And now 3-0. First base is open, and Chad Moeller on deck, and Maurer will go to the mound. One of the bottom of the 9th at Fenway Park, with White Sox and Red Sox still tied. White Sox finish up the homestand here after tonight's game. A day off for the Twins. 3 with the Rangers and then 3 with the White Sox.
Well, Blackburn making his 26th start here tonight, his 59th career start. 19 wins, 21 losses in his young career.
And now a walk puts PA aboard. First and second, 1 away.
And the second walk for Blackburn in the ball game. Still no strikeouts for Blackburn.
Last night, the Twins got through the ball game after a short start. Philip Bumber had a tough time of it, but then Crane and Maharis did a great job and allowed the Twins to come back and win the ball game. Don't know that the same cast of characters available tonight. Certainly Crane isn't. He was burnt up last night, can't be used today. Pick off to second. They got him.
Oh, I love that play. I love that play when Greg Gagne was a shortstop for the Twins, and Cabrera, very nice play, good communication between Blackburn and Cabrera. And Cabrera giving him that open glove. Take a look right here. Give it to me. And he does, and then he drops the knee right there. Bobby Grich with the Orioles, one of the best at doing that. So that runner could not get back to the bag. Nice pickoff between Blackburn and Cabrera.
Now breaking ball low, and the runner at second taken care of, but PA might have intentions of getting there on his own. So Aubrey picked off out number 2, and ball 1 to Moeller, who singled and walked against Blackburn. Long hold and a look over.
A PA with good speed, just one stolen base in 4 attempts. He's kind of new at this as far as at the major league level. Stole some bases with the Cubs, but this is his first year with the Orioles. One of these guys that's still learning to steal bases at the major league level. He has the speed.
Swing and a foul. One and one. Ask Moeller about his Metrodome memory. He's hit his first major league home run here. An inside the park home run. 3-runner against the Yankees. Drilled over the head of the third baseman Punto. PA runs well. He rounds second, on his way to third. He's coming home. And Cabrera will hold the ball, with Moeller delivering a big 2-out double to make it a 4-1 game.
Boy, he's had 2 very good at-bats. A base hit in the 4th, and right there got a fastball up and hit it over the head of Nick Punto down into that left field corner. Just opened up quickly. Barrel of the bat. And PA with his speed, he scores all the way from first base.
Good night for Moeller. 2 hits and a walk, and Blackburn will come out after 96 pitches, trailing 4-1. A walk-off home run for Ortiz against Tony Pena. And the White Sox fall below the 500 mark. And the Twins in danger of doing the same here unless they can come back. Jeff Manship will come into the ballgame to pitch to Roberts in the 6th.
Yeah, Manship making his 5th appearance. He last worked on Sunday, 1 inning against the Kansas City Royals, where he gave up 1 run on a couple hits. And the Twins won that game 10-3. One
1-0. Roberts 1 for 3. Single to left and a couple of ground balls to the right side. The Tigers have lost. The White Sox have lost. And the Twins hope to get to the bottom of the sixth down by just 3 runs.
Well, Manship with a fastball. He'll throw that sinking fastball, the 4-seam fastball, the slider that we saw to get behind an account. His very good curveball and a changeup.
2-0 to Roberts. And a dribbler to Casilla. And Manship gets the final out. In the inning, a walk, a pair of hits, and another costly 2-out hit. And the Orioles lead 4-1.
Play off the bat of Roberts right there, and Casilla on the right there. He somehow able to flip the ball out of his glove for the force out of Chad Moeller at second base. This in the 4th inning. Outstanding defensive play by Alexi Casilla.
Orioles with 9 hits. That could have been a 10th. Instead, it's our frost brewed Coors Light freeze can. Top of the order in the bottom of the 6th. Starting with Span. He has one of the 3 Twins hits, and he takes low, ball 1. Twins hoping there's a little more 6th inning magic left in this winning streak. Two and 0. Guthrie hasn't walked anybody. Coming off a game where he pitched 7 innings, giving up just 6 hits and a solo home run against the White Sox. 2-1. Second really good game that Guthrie had pitched against Chicago at U.S. Cellular Field. 2-1. Up the middle. Guthrie loves it and flips one away. So much has been made of Casilla at the plate, but in the field, he's been outstanding.
Yeah, he really has. I think Ron Coomer mentioned, when you start swinging the bat better, you don't worry about that much about your at-bat, so you think, you know what, I'm going to play good defense. Well, he's done that. He really has. He's made some great plays. And he's added the offense now, too.
1 down, and here's Cabrera. A belt high strike. Cabrera tried to bunt his way aboard leading off the 4th inning and was retired. Now off the plate, and Wigginton will see that bound foul. 2 strikes.
Well, I like the way that Guthrie's going about his business here tonight. Very aggressive, attacking the strike zone. He has 4 strikeouts. He's only given up 3 hits. A single to Span, a single to Mauer, then the RBI double to Justin for the Twins' only run in the 4th.
His pitch count is such, 77 pitches. Orioles manager Dave Tremblay like him to get through the 6th and hopefully through the 7th. Bounce to the right side. And it's Roberts with a nice pickup. 2 away. So 2 gone in the 6th. Mauer coming up, but first our Quest high-speed pitch. Brought to you by Quest High-Speed Internet.
Yeah, Guthrie tops out at 92, Blackburn at 91. And Guthrie, that's 11 ground ball outs he's been able to get of the 17 outs.
Mauer singled and scored his last time up. And a fly ball to the left field corner caught by Reimold his first time up. Very high, ball 1.
I've seen Guthrie do that a couple times, and I wind up just kind of hesitate at that position before he releases the ball. And it gets to that balance point and then stops for a split second. Now it's all the way through.
One and one. Ichiro Suzuki not in the starting lineup again for Seattle tonight. This one popped over the Twins dugout. So Mauer at 1 for 2, hitting at 372.
He started came into the game at 359.
Mauer's average right where it was at the start of the game. 1 and 2. Have the RBI leader in Morneau in the American League, the batting leader in the American League, Mauer. Inside, 3 and 2. Guthrie hasn't walked anybody. Third 3-ball count. Three and 2 to Mauer. Drilled to right. So a base hit. Mauer's second of the ball game, and that'll get Morneau to the plate with 2 away.
Good hitting again by Joe Mauer. Got a fastball up and lined it into right field. Anthony LaPanta coming up to the booth just to bug us for some unknown reason. And then my wife and my brother Joe and his wife Pam coming in. So we got a full house here.
See if they can bring the Twins some luck.
Yes.
Morneau with an RBI double his last time up. Hit a home run last night and takes one in the dirt. Ball 1. Morneau obviously has slowed in his home run pace, but Pena's just taken off. He's got a comfortable lead in the home run race with 37. Not sure where they think Mauer would be going with Morneau at the plate, down by 3 runs.
Just threw over in case he's sleeping.
2-0. And so Morneau, as per our discussion before, you get a lineup that's confident. Morneau's up there thinking, instead, I've got to do this. If I get on base, Kubel can do it. We can tie it up with him hitting a home run. And he chases a 90-mile-per-hour fastball up in his eye.
He had that home run swing right there.
2-1.
Take a look at the fastball up. Power against power right there.
Lifted to left. Reimold makes the catch. The Twins get a hit from Mauer. They don't score in the 6th inning. And the Orioles still lead by 3. Diversity, a special day presented in part by McDonald's. Great entertainment on the Quest Plaza and special performances in the pregame on the Metrodome field. Celebrate our diversity as the Twins host Texas on Sunday. For tickets, call 800-33-TWINS or log on to twinsbaseball.com. Well, the Twins find themselves down 4-1. They didn't score in the sixth. They're trailing on Lutheran night. Twins are behind on Lutheran night. Cesar Esturris will lead things off.
Well, I guess they're just not praying hard enough.
Well, I don't know. They usually get about anywhere from 8,000 to 10,000 Lutherans once a year to come to a Twins game.
Good curveball right there by Manship. His job right here, put a 0 on the board. Keeps the game at 4-1.
Esturris, Scott, and Markakis will face Manship here in the seventh. 1-2. Esturris has reached twice. All 4 Baltimore runs. There's a check swing. No swing, 2-2. All 4 Baltimore runs have been scored on 2-out hits. 2 runs in the first, one of them scoring on an error, tacked on to a 2-out hit, then the 2-out homer in the fourth, and the 2-out double in the sixth. 2-2. Curve lifted near third base. Punto in foul ground makes the catch, 1 away. 1 down in the seventh in the Dodge game summer. Let's take a look at those 2-out Oriole hits.
Well, it's Reimold right there. And this ball ended up getting away, cut with the runners at second and third. The ball staying down and scooting past Morneau. PA hitting a solo home run to straightaway center off of Blackburn. In the fourth inning, Justin Morneau, an RBI double. That scored Joe Mauer, who had singled before him. And in the sixth inning, Moeller with that RBI double down that left field line.
Luke Scott, the hitter. Singled and scored in the first. Hits it right at Cabrera. 2 down. Well, for Manship, who came to the Major League Club after starting for Rochester, trying to make a case for himself to maybe take over an open spot in the rotation.
Well, he made 21 starts down in Rochester. He won 10 ball games down there, lost 6. Very good 3.86 ERA. Gave up fewer hits to innings pitched, 126 innings pitched down there, 125 hits allowed. Did a great job of keeping the ball in the ballpark, allowed only 3 home runs in the 21 starts.
How many innings? 3 home runs?
3 home runs in 126 innings.
Wow. 1 strike. Markakis lifts it foul.
I have to say that's between AA and AAA.
Right.
So that's combined between New Britain and Rochester.
But still, if home runs are going to be a problem, you'd have more allowed than that.
Right. 13 starts in AA New Britain, 8 starts in Rochester for Manship, just 24 years old. Good fastball inside, gets the pop-up.
Casilla and Span picks it right out of Casilla's teeth. So the center fielder streaks in and finishes off a 1-2-3 inning. Live strong, live bold, live now. Dodge, grab life. And by Aflac, we've got you under our wing. Well, Jeremy Guthrie, I'm amazed I've gotten to the 7th inning without calling him Mark Guthrie, who used to pitch for the Twins. But Jeremy Guthrie has been in control here tonight. And he delivers strike 1 to Jason Kubel.
Well, I mentioned a couple innings ago, I like the way that he's attacking the strike zone. 90 pitches right now, 57 for strikes. Utilizing that fastball, the curveball, and the changeup.
Kubel, Kadire, and Young trying to get something started in the 7th. About the only time over the last week the Twins haven't put a crooked number up in the 6th. They backed it up with a crooked number in the 7th. So it's Guthrie pitched a scoreless 6th. The Twins will hope to do something here in the 7th. 91 pitches for Guthrie. As good as he was against the White Sox, 7 very good innings. He only threw 96 pitches in that game.
Well, Guthrie making his 26th start of the year, and there's only been 6 games where he has not allowed a home run. Again, he came in leading the American League in home runs allowed with 29. But I like the way this young man is going about his business here tonight.
Bottom 5 hitters so far are combined 0 for 10. Haven't reached base at all against him. Kubel hits it off the end of the bat foul. Kubel has hit 2 ground balls to the first baseman, Scott. Dave Tremblay and the Orioles will head home after the game here tonight. Hoping to head home with a 500 road trip. Winning 2 in Chicago.
There's a little bit of hesitation again, and that's a good changeup. And Guthrie picks up his 5th strikeout.
The off man is gone in the 7th.
Let's take a look at our Mountain Dew fan of the game, and young lady we met many years ago. And now she's cancer-free. She's 21 years old. Congratulations. Now that's what life is all about right there. Keep battling. Congratulations to you.
She's grown into a beautiful lady. And you've grown some too since 1988.
Yes, I have. You see the beard I had right there? Full beard.
All red.
All red, yeah. Now it's all gray.
Distinguished.
It happens.
Kadire with a foul ball. Strike 1. And Guthrie, particularly to Kadire, seems to have gotten him to go fishing after that breaking ball.
A tight rotation on that curveball. That's why I said can that slider, unless you're going to throw it up and in on left-handers, put that slider in your back pocket. And it goes back in with a fastball.
Which he did in his last at-bat before getting Kadire to bounce out to short.
I came up with a slider later in my career only to get in on left-handers. I basically stayed with that curveball because I could change speeds with it. It becomes almost a changeup. Well, he dropped down right there and went fastball inside.
Not seen him do that.
No.
Now you had a slider, not a cutter, but a true slider.
Well, I called it a slider, but it was a cutter. I mean, to me, there's no difference in today's game when people say they throw a cutter. It's a slider. It's a slider. You're trying to do the same thing, and that's just make that ball move a little bit like that pitch right there.
Get it off the barrel of the bat.
For me, the slider inside on lefties, because as I got older, my fastball, it's hard for me to throw that four-seam fastball. Everything came back over the plate, so it worked in my favor that I could get that ball in on lefties about right about letter high. I threw one slider in the big leagues for 23 years to a right-handed hitter. And Don McMahon and I were working on it in Cleveland when I was with the Cleveland Indians against Alex Johnson. He fouled off about 12 to 15 pitches. And Mac from the dugout, there's a base hit by Michael Kadire. I looked in and he said, kind of like, just a little flip of the wrist, try the slider. So I had to call Chris Bando out, my catcher, because I didn't have a number 3. I had 1-2 wiggle as my signs. And I threw the slider, and Cliff Johnson hit it about 450 feet over the left field fence. And you're laughing. It wasn't that funny at the time. But I came in, and after the inning was over with, Max sat next to me. He goes, let's not throw that slider anymore, okay? So thanks a lot. You told me to throw it.
Those aren't my earned runs. It's the pitching coach's earned runs.
Yeah, give it to Mac.
Here's Delman Young, who's hit 2 ground balls to the hole, and Turris has come up in each case to make a fine play and throw him out at first. Twins hoping to string some things together here in the absence of a long ball. Guthrie's usually good to give up one of those. There's one that finds the hole finally. And maybe the only reason it found a hole with a runner at first is Turris was playing more up the middle. The hole was more open than it had been.
That's almost the same spot that Delman Young hit his first 2 ground ball outs to Turris. And right here, a little slider that he hooks. That ball stays on the same plane. That allows the hitter to get the barrel of the bat on it, exactly what Delman did. So for the second time in a ball game, Twins have been able to put 2 hits together. They did it together in the 4th when Mauer got let on a 1-out base hit, and then Justin followed with that RBI double.
Ron Gardenhire making the call for defense rather than offense, starting Punto. But now with the tying run coming to the plate, Punto 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts and 0 for 7 in his at-bats against Jeremy Guthrie. Twins will make the move here and bring Brendan Harris off the bench. Harris 2 for 6 as a pinch hitter. And 2 for 6 in his career against Guthrie. So if not 3 in one swing, the Twins would like to at least get Kanayer in from second base here and close the gap a little bit here in the 7th. Punto was struck out twice, once looking, once swinging, and Harris takes ball 1. Harris with 6 home runs on the season. He hasn't hit one for a while. Harris's last home run coming on the 11th of August. Takes up high. 2-0. And it's the birthday boy making a pinch hitting appearance.
Harris, 29 years old here today. Get yourself a hit.
And Guthrie. Just his 4th 3-ball count. He hasn't walked anybody yet. He's in danger of filling the bases. There's no way to celebrate a birthday with a walk, but Harris would take it. Andy Baez warming up in the Baltimore bullpen. (3-0) to Brendan Harris. And a belt high strike. Three and 1 to the Twins pinch hitter. Popped up right side. Infield fly rule is never called. I guess the third base umpire did. Yep. Gary Darling made the call. So 2 down, and that'll bring up Casilla. And Casilla looking for his first hit. He's gotten some big ones for the Twins during the 5-game winning streak. Again, the Orioles have scored all 4 of their runs on 2-out hits. Twins hoping for one here. A strikeout in the 3rd and a foul out in the 5th. Casilla got one up and took a big rip at it.
Boy, sure did. And when a hitter hits that ball like Casilla did right there, straight back behind the catcher, he just missed it.
Outside. It's not just that Casilla's getting more hits, he's stinging the ball and getting some extra base hits. Triple 2 nights ago, a double off the fence in right center last night. 385 at bats last year. And Garcia did hit 7 home runs. Has yet to get one this year. And that one bends over, a strike, 1-2.
Yeah, Garcia currently on that 5-game hitting streak coming into the ball game. During the 5-game hitting streak, 9 hits and 17 at bats, a .529 batting average. Well, to keep it going right here. Well, he struck him out on the curveball in his first at bat.
Garcia flares one to left, and Reibold makes a trotting catch, and the Twins get a couple of hits and leave 2 on in the 7th. They're going to finish up the outfield tonight, and then they say by Friday morning when the sun rises, all the grass will be laid, and as Kevin Smith of the Twins said, it's no longer a project, it becomes a ballpark at that point. Still playing on the plastic stuff here. The Twins trailing 4-1. Trying to think the other day, I believe there have been 4 different artificial surfaces here in the nearly 30 years of the Metrodome. 1-1.
Could you call the first one artificial surface when it was like playing outside on a on the road?
Like asphalt?
Back in 1982, yeah. Balls were bouncing all over the place.
1-1. Rare was the game when there weren't multiple ground rule doubles. Mm-hmm. And I saw it happen twice from memory. Balls bouncing over the wall. There's Brendan Harris at third, bouncing over the wall, and it was a short wall all the way around on the second hop. 3-1 to Reimold leading off the 8th.
Well, Manship's retired all 4 batters he's been asked to get so far.
And he missed a leadoff walk here in the 8th. And that'll bring up Michael Aubrey. You can get your single game tickets for the 18 games of Metrodome baseball left by logging on to twinsbaseball.com. You can also load up on the latest Twins merchandise and the latest information, like all the player appearances coming up on Saturday. All things Twins at twinsbaseball.com, where baseball's always on. Aubrey, the hitter. He singled and was picked off second base his last time up. Outside a ball. And Bauer will go to the mound. I had somebody ask me today, and I'll share my answer in a moment, but I would imagine you were asked the same thing and have been many times. What do you think your feeling or emotions will be when we close the door behind us after the last regular season game.
To me, I mean, great memories here for 28 years, but I'm looking forward to go to the new stadium. This is and I think you're going to get the same feeling from the players that, you know, hey, it is what it was, and let's move forward. Let's move forward into a beautiful new arena, pretty much. And I think all the players and, you know, I think a lot of fans are looking forward to leaving this place and going to Target Field.
Here's Aubrey.
So basically, it's not going to be really emotional for me.
I don't think so.
No.
It will be for me either. And I suppose over the years I probably spent more time, you know, here than you did. But I can't imagine not leaving here without grinning from ear to ear.
Well, I think, you know, what's going to be nice for us is going there, and when it's a day game, we can actually say it's a day game. When it's a night game, we can say it's a night game, because a lot of times we'll say here this afternoon, and it's already 8 o'clock at night. You don't know.
2-1 to Aubrey.
Matt Guerrero loosening up.
Manship made a good impression getting out of the sixth, having a 1-2-3 7th. Doesn't want anything to.
Was that your response to the question?
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Of course, I'll leave here thinking, boy, you know, I saw 2 Game 7s of a World Series here, an All-Star game, great individual accomplishments, milestone hits, tap foul, but all those things happen in spite of the ballpark rather than because of it.
Right. Kirby Puckett would have been great no matter where he played.
And to have 2 Game 7s decided on your home ballpark or on your home field, you know, if that had happened in '65 at Met Stadium, we would have, you know, been even more nostalgic about that place. This place has housed and hosted some baseball history. Swing and a miss, and a big strikeout of Aubrey for the first out of the 8th.
A nice breaking ball right there. I think what I'll remember the most is probably Jeff Reardon getting that final out in the '87 World Series where Gary Gaetti throws it over to Herbeck, and this place erupted. And then in 1991, I mean, when Gene Larkin hit that fly ball and allowed Dan Gladden to score, and Jack Morris's 1-0 10-inning win, those are great memories.
Wigginton, the hitter, with a runner at first and 1 out. Ball 1. Wigginton 0 for 3, has yet to get a ball out of the infield.
I think what people ask me is, you know, the Twins have had so much success here. Will they be able to take that success over to Target Field because of that? You know, there's a line drive right here in front of Michael Kadire.
And the runner going. Reimold to third, the throw off line, and that will allow the runner Wigginton to advance to second base. So Kadire took a shot, and Wigginton advanced second and third with 1 away.
He overshot the cutoff man right there, and the throw was a little bit on the outfield side. And Wigginton, very hard slide into second base. Wigginton taking that ball the other way. Kadire's throw a little bit over the head of Cabrera. That allowed Wigginton to go from first to second on a hard slide into Casilla.
Ron Gardenhire going to come out here with 1 out. The Twins already down by 3. He's going to make a pitching change and bring in Matt Guerrero to try to get the 8 and 9 hitters and keep this a 3-run Oriole lead.
Coming in to try to get out of this. Matt, in his last start against Kansas City, or his last appearance, picked up his first save, his fourth career save against the Kansas City Royals in the 8-7 win over the Royals on last Saturday. Great numbers for Matt. 41 strikeouts for Matt in 61 innings pitched.
And that's what the Twins would like to have happen here. PA is strikeout prone. He'll strike out about once every 4 times up. Twins have the infield in. Nice block by Maurer, ball 1. PA has scored a couple of runs. He homered with 2 outs in the 4th. Walked with 2 outs in the 6th. Actually with 1 out. The second out came when Aubrey was picked off at second. And then Moeller followed with an RBI double to make it a 3-run lead. 1-0 to Felix PA. Inside. So the 8 and 9 hitters have been very helpful for the Twins in the first 2 games of this series, and it's been the 8 and 9 hitters that have done a lot of the damage for the Orioles tonight. 6 plate appearances, and the PA and Moeller have only been retired once. That's outside, 3-0. First and second base are open, and Moeller's on deck.
Yeah, you have first base open right here. So, with Chad Moeller on deck, he's more likely, and they're going to go ahead and intentionally walk him here. And Moeller's more likely to hit into a double play than maybe getting a PA out when he has the count in his favor.
Moeller walked with 2 outs in the 2nd, singled with 2 outs in the 4th. And his biggest hit, a ringing double into the left field corner, driving in PA from first base with 2 outs in the 6th.
Let's see how Ron Gardenhire plays this from middle infield. Do they still play in, or they look back for the double play? Guarding Laddie. Guardy right now, Laddie, everybody know.
Moeller with 64, make that 66 at bats in the season. He's only hit into 3 double plays.
Oh, he's due then.
Rare misses low.
They tried that 2-seamer down and in, and that creates a ground ball at times, and Moeller took it for a ball.
Two and 0. Guerrero hasn't thrown a strike yet.
That's never been really Matt's problem. Only 9 walks coming into this outing. Two
2-0 to the Baltimore catcher. And that one called on the outside corner or thereabouts. 2-1. Taken for ball 3. Moeller's taken all 4 pitches here. Twins gave up a couple of bases loaded walks in the ball game last night, but were able to overcome it.
This is where you have that good fastball down and away. You have to hit your spot right here.
Time called. Guerrero went through with his delivery and actually threw a strike.
So that's not right there. Even Moeller called time. Guerrero was ready to pitch. See Matt in his delivery.
Yeah.
Wow. Don't see that too often.
Guerrero again on 3-1. Walked him. So a run comes in, and it's 5-1.
Remember in last night's ball game, the Twins staff walked a couple guys with bases loaded. And right there, Moeller picking up his 2nd RBI of the night as Remold scores.
Now a tougher guy to double up, or so you'd think. Roberts has only hit into 4 double plays and over 500 at bats. Guerrero has thrown 10 pitches and 1 strike. And Rick Anderson's going to come out. This is very un-Guerrero-like. The inning started with a walk. There was a hit. And a couple of walks have followed. And the Orioles already leading by 4, in danger of busting it wide open. Philip Humber warming up. He had control issues yesterday. That
walk that he allowed right there was the first unintentional walk for Matt Guerrero since July 12th.
Wow.
He had not walked a batter. He did walk somebody intentionally in Detroit on August 9th. But very unlike Matt Guerrero, like you talked about, Dick, to actually walk a batter. It's been a while.
One and 0. 1-1. Orioles have scored 5 times. They've left 7 men on. Two and 1. Unable to do much offensively, and Twins have been playing from behind before they ever came to the plate. A couple of first inning runs for the Orioles tonight. It's dribbled foul. 2-2. Guerrero has the slider and the slower breaking pitch, the curve, and it's the curve that he usually uses when he needs a strikeout. We got a foul tip on the slider, or the cutter. Let's see if he gives Roberts the curveball here in the hopes of striking him out. Fastball wide, and it's 3-2. Usually Matt Guerrero, 14 pitches, has 11 strikes and 3 balls. It's the other way around here in this outing. 3-2, only 1 away in the 8th. Morneau comes home. They get the force. Nice pickup on the glove side. Tempting because first base was right there, but he knew how important getting that lead runner was at home.
Nice defensive play right there by Justin, because he kind of hops off the bag right here with the infield in. He kind of dove for that ball and made sure he made a good throw. You almost saw him double clutch right there. Make sure that he has a good grip on that baseball. Threw a strike to Joe Mauer at home for the force out.
And now is Turris with the bases loaded again and 2 down. You've talked from time to time how you see players, fielders out there trying to do too much and make sure you get an out. In this case, it was make sure you get the right out, the force at the plate, right?
Yep. I mean, you know, I don't know if he knew how close he was to the bag. I think he was telling himself, if the ball is hit to me, I have to go home with the ball, and he did it right.
Little bouncer up the middle. Casilla flips. Another great play up the middle by Alexi Casilla.
What a highlight reel he was put on here.
1 for the Orioles. It could have been a whole lot more. Casilla with his second outstanding play.
Baltimore Orioles. I'm Robbie Mikowski, and I invite you to stay tuned. Following this ballgame, the Quest Twins Live featuring the Toyota postgame wrap. We'll talk about the great Guthrie tonight. Jeremy Guthrie looking like the ace of this Orioles staff tonight. 7 strong innings, holding the Twins to just a run on 6 hits and issued no walks tonight. Flip It is our instructional. Alexi Casilla, he should do the instructional tonight with his performance at second base. And nicked up, Nick Blackburn didn't have the strong outing he wanted to follow up on after Friday's performance in Kansas City, going just 5 2/3 innings and surrendering the 4 runs. That's all coming up on Quest Twins Live following the ball game. Gentlemen,
we'll see what the Twins can do against the Baltimore bullpen. Thank you, Robbie. Bernard Span will lead things off against Danny Baez.
Yeah, Baez coming out of the bullpen, 31 years old, in his 3rd season with the Orioles, his 9th major league season, making his 46th relief appearance. 4 wins, 6 losses out of that bullpen for Baez. 58 1/3 innings, 19 walks, 3 intentional with 35 strikeouts.
And Span takes a strike.
Baez had to go through the Tommy John surgery. Some defensive changes right there. Wigginton moved over to 3rd as Melvin Mora takes over at 3rd.
Wigginton at first.
To first.
Right. 2-2 now to Span. Baez with some decent numbers, but middle relievers, if they have one really bad outing, it kind of impacts their numbers the whole year. Back in late June, he had one of those. He pitched a 1/3 of an inning and was charged with 5 earned runs. 3-2. So for the most part, he's been a pretty reliable setup guy for the Orioles. He has some closer experience, so he might be one of those guys that might end up elsewhere by the end of the month. 3-2. Twins need base runners, and we've got somebody out on the field, so we'll have a little bit of a delay here.
I don't know why fans do this. Yeah, Baez was a closer for the Cleveland Indians back in 2002 and 2003. And then he went to Tampa and was a closer there.
Baez will wait. We all will wait. And he'll get a chance to keep his arm loose. And Jeremy Guthrie's been the story here tonight.
Well, he pitched outstanding. I love the way that he went about his business here tonight. 5 strikeouts, no walks, 6 hits allowed. The only damage done, the RBI double by Morneau in the 4th inning. He attacked the strike zone from the first pitch to his 112th pitch.
Span will try to continue his at bat here.
I just want to make sure that that's not my brother. He just flew in from California with his wife, and it doesn't look like him, so we're okay. He said he wanted to get a little airtime. That's not the way to do it, Joe.
So Span will inherit, I guess, if you want to call it that, when play is resumed, a 3-2 count, trying to get aboard. The Twins got a lot of coming back to do. They're down by 4. Span, Cabrera, and Mauer here in the 8th. And Span draws a walk. We've seen Baez from time to time struggle with his control, but the numbers would suggest that's not been the case this year. 58 1/3 innings, just 19 walks, and 3 of those intentional.
Well, he's always been a hard thrower. He has that herky-jerky type of late delivery with his arm, kind of a long arm. But this guy's had a lot of success. He defected from Cuba way back in 1999, then signed it with the Indians as a free agent.
And now Baez will face Orlando Cabrera. And there's a first pitch strike.
Tony Oliva a lot of times will talk to a lot of guys like Baez that came from Cuba, and Actually, Baez's good friend that was Tony Oliva's family's neighbor. So they had something in common there.
Check swing and a called strike 2. Span had never faced Baez. Cabrera has, 0 for 5. Although he did walk his last time up. Big batter for Baez because of who's on deck. It's not just Mauer, but Mauer has had great success against Baez. So Cabrera trying to get aboard here and try to make a mess of things here in the 8th. That pitch taken. Strike 3, and Cabrera slams his bat down, and he's been kicked out of the game. Home plate umpire Todd Tishner.
I don't know if he should be kicked out of the ball game. I think he should be fined, but not kicked out of the ball game.
Well, and of course, this is after the Twins have already made their infield move, so going to have a curious alignment here in the 9th inning.
You know, if a player throws a helmet or a bat, they get fined, but to get thrown out right away like that, the Twins have had some problem with Todd Tishner behind the plate. Now watch, it's a called 3rd strike. Cabrera slamming the bat down. Then home plate umpire Todd Tishner threw him out of the ball game.
The check swing, I can see, it looked like the barrel of the bat went through the hitting zone. And Cabrera, in frustration, slammed the bat down, and Todd Tishner took it personally. So 1 away, and here's Mauer with only 1 man aboard. And he takes belt-high strike. Mauer has faced Baez 4 times. He has 3 extra base hits. Actually, he's faced him 6 times. He's got 3 extra base hits, 2 doubles, a home run, and 2 walks. Strike 2 to Mauer.
Take a look at the fastball. Pretty good pitch.
And Mauer hits a double play ball. And the 8th inning comes to an end after the leadoff walk. It's still 5-1 Baltimore. It's time to bring you up to speed with the AT&T Rapid Rewind. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. during the inning break, Tishner and Ron Gardenhire continued their discussion. You referenced it before. Tishner, no stranger to early ejections for the Twins. He was the home plate umpire in late May who ejected Mike Redmond and then Ron Gardenhire rather quickly. And then in the next half inning, ejected Jason Varitek and Terry Francona in quick order.
Yeah, very quick thumb right there. Again, a player will be fined automatically if they throw their helmet or their bat, and I don't think they. Haven't seen too many do that and then get thrown out of the ball game.
Well, the upshot of all of it for the Twins is they've got to be creative defensively. Umber on the mound. The Twins really have to do some shifting here in the final inning just to get through the ball game. The Orioles in front 5-1. Luke Scott, or Melvin Mora rather, the hitter.
Yeah, Michael Kadire taking over at second base as Casilla moves over to short.
One and one to Mora, and he lines a base hit to center field.
And he lined that ball to Carlos Gomez, who's now playing at center field as Denard Span moves from center to right.
And that pushed Kadire into second and moved Casilla over to short to cover up the ejection of Orlando Cabrera. Here's Markakis with the leadoff man on again in the ninth. Orioles have done a nice job getting leadoff men on in the ball game. Markakis has been held hitless tonight. Half swing, but a strike, I would imagine. Yep. Kadire with a different glove. Of course, for a while, Kadire was considered to have a future at second base for the Twins. To right center field, and Gomez over in the gap, catching the fly ball one away. Kadire's been very flexible. He's had a nomadic existence in the major leagues. Drafted as a shortstop, came up as a third baseman. And the Twins decided Corey Koski was their third baseman, so then they moved Kadire to first. And then the Twins decided Doug Minkiewicz was their first baseman. So then they tried him at second base for a while, moved him out to the outfield. Have thought about moving him back to the infield, and have at first base this year. Now he's got some inning, or at least one of them, at second base. Reimold, the hitter. Again, the door is open for the Twins with the Tigers and White Sox both losing. But right now the Orioles threatening to win the final game of this series. There's a curve left up high. One and one. And a fastball over the outside corner.
Well, Umber worked in last night's ball game. He did work one inning. Gave up a hit, a run, but he walked 4 with 3 strikeouts. Threw a lot of pitches, 39 pitches, 20 for strikes.
Curve inside, 2-2. Last game of the year between these two teams. And the Orioles in position to win the season series. They won the 2 games in Baltimore.
That's amazing. You know, I mean, we only played the Orioles 5 times this year. I mentioned, I think in our first game here, we play the Milwaukee Brewers more than we play the Baltimore Orioles.
Sharply hit.
Oh, come on, Kadire, turn it.
Casilla to Kadire. Double play. So Casilla, who's made good plays on the other side of second base, starts a nice double play here in the ninth. Will lead off the ninth, with the Twins having some coming back to do. The Jeep game reset showing you the Orioles have a 4-run lead.
Yeah, Jeremy Guthrie, 7 very solid innings, only allowed 6 hits to the Twins. No walks, 5 strikeouts. He's looking for his 9th win of the year.
Here's Morneau leading off the ninth. George Sherrill was traded. They weren't sure what to do with Jim Johnson. They thought, well, maybe we'll put him into the rotation. They let him handle the job of closer. Coming into this year, he had just 1 save, and that was one of those 3-inning jobs. So he's adjusting to life as the closer for the Orioles, and so far he's doing all right.
Yep, making his 51st appearance. Very good, 2.97 earned run average. 3 wins, 4 losses, 6 of the 26 saves for the Orioles.
Long-time Oriole farmhand getting a chance to pitch in a high-profile spot. 2 strikes to Morneau leading off the Twins' ninth. And a fastball down and away gets a strikeout, 1 away.
Boy, that ball had some movement right there. Good sinker down and away. Johnson, just 25 years old, from Johnson City, New York. Look at that sinker right there. Nasty. Signed by the Orioles back in 2001 out of Johnson High School.
Well, that's a pretty big deal, you know, when they name the city after you.
I know.
You haven't even, all you've done is you've been born there. You lived there for a while. Here's Kubel, 1 strike.
He's out of Endicott High School in New York.
5 pitches, 5 strikes. Jim Johnson from Johnson City, New York.
You would think there would be a Johnson High School there, too. I don't know why he didn't go there.
Oh, 0-2 to Jason Kubel. Snap bat off the pitcher. Rolling slowly to Roberts. A fine play by Roberts. Johnson took some of the sting out of the ball, and Roberts recovered to throw out Kubel 2 down.
Yeah, the only play that Roberts had was to come in and barehand it and try to get the ball quickly over to first base. Right off the right, looked like the left shin of Johnson. Didn't get a glove on it. And Roberts makes a nice play.
Well, the Twins down to their last out. And it'll be Michael Cuddyer. Second baseman, Michael Cuddyer. Cuddyer singled his last time up, just did a little bloop into right field for a base hit. Down and in, ball 1. Fastball that cuts the plate in half, 1-1. And another fastball for strike 2. Breaking pitch and no swing, says first base umpire Bruce Dreckman.
Well, the good thing today is that the Tigers lost, the White Sox lost. Twins will not lose any ground to the Tigers. Have an off day tomorrow to regroup for the Texas Rangers over the weekend.
Ouch.
Take that.
Esteuras bare hands, throws, got him. So first Roberts, now Esteuras, a fine play, and the Twins are stymied as they try to sweep the Orioles, losing 5-1. Well, the Twins, Anthony, in last night's game got off to a slow start. They were able to recover from it, but not so tonight. The Orioles got the first couple runs, and the Twins weren't able to get anything together.
The Twins come from behind magic slows tonight as they were not able to overcome this Oriole club that avoids the sweep with a 5-1 win. We'll take